Hey, let me ask you something. Have you ever felt like you're carrying this weight that just nobody else could possibly get?
It can feel like you're totally on an island. Like, out of everyone in the world, you're the only one dealing with this specific thing. And honestly, that feeling of being alone, that can be the heaviest part of the whole deal. But what if that feeling isn't an accident? What if there's a reason for it?
So, this is where we get to a really powerful idea. What if this whole struggle, what if it's not random? What if it's not some cosmic mistake or proof that you messed up? What if it was actually designated for you, specifically? I mean, just think about that for a second. That changes everything, doesn't it?
If you look through scripture, you start to see this really interesting pattern. When God is about to do something big with someone to prepare them for their calling, he doesn't usually do it in the middle of a big crowd. Nope, he pulls them away. He sets them on a path all by themselves. And I mean, just look at the evidence. You've got Moses, right? 40 years in the desert, 40 years before he was ready to lead. Or think about David. Before he was King David, he was just a shepherd boy out in the fields, totally alone. Joseph, his biggest tests, the things that forged his character, happened in the isolation of a prison. And Paul, all those long, lonely journeys that defined his entire ministry. The common thread here is pretty clear, isn't it? Their most crucial character-defining moments, they all happened in solitude.
So you see this incredible clash of perspectives. Your light is screaming, nobody's with me, I'm completely on my own. But what if there's another voice saying something totally different? A voice that says, hey, this isn't meant to destroy you. This is for your calling. This is your preparation. Okay, so that's the big question then, right? Why? Why the isolation? Why does it have to be this way? Well, the idea here is that some kinds of training, some of the most important lessons, they just can't be learned with a bunch of people around. There are some things you can only hear in the quiet. This is where the real work gets done. I mean, think about the ultimate example. Jesus. Right before he starts his public ministry, where does he go? Into the desert. Alone. For 40 days. No fans, no followers, just intense focus and testing. And that's because solitude, it's like a blacksmith's forge. It's where authority is hammered out and shaped. It's that quiet place where a fuzzy, blurry sense of purpose suddenly snaps into crystal clear focus.
And doesn't this explain so much? It explains why it's so hard to tell people what you're going through, why the words just don't seem to come out right, and why they look at you with that blank stare. It feels like a burden only you can carry. Because in a very real sense, it is. It's a tailor-made process designed specifically to shape you and no one else. Now, during this intense time of being set apart, something else really amazing starts to happen. It's not just about the lessons you're learning or the strength you're building. The very nature of your relationship with God, it starts to change. There's a huge shift.
And this verse from John really hits it home. It says, "No longer do I call you servants, but I have called you friends." See, a servant does what they're told, right? They don't always know the why behind it. But a friend is brought into the inner circle. A friend gets to hear the secrets, the plans, the real purpose behind everything. So if you feel like you've been pulled out of the game and put on the sidelines, maybe you're not being benched at all. Maybe you're being called into the coach's office for a private meeting. It means God is talking to you on a much deeper level, sharing things with you like a friend, and getting you ready for whatever's coming next.
All right, let's wrap this all up into one core idea. If there's one thing I want you to walk away with today, it's this. It's about completely flipping the script on how we normally think about these tough times.
So listen closely. Here are 3 truths for you right now. Number 1, you are not rejected. This isn't a penalty. Number 2, you are chosen, handpicked for this very moment. And number 3, this struggle is for you. It's the very thing being used to build you into who you're meant to be.
And believe me, one day you're going to look back at this time and you'll get it. You'll say, man, back then it felt so lonely, but now I see it. God was shaping me in that solitude. What feels like confusion right now will one day look like a masterpiece in progress. So I'll leave you with this thought to chew on. What if the silence you're hearing right now isn't silence at all? What if it's the sound of God getting you ready for what's next?